Man, when you really want a great main event for a wrestling show during your weeks, you don't have to look far. You don't have to look far. All you have to do is turn on the WWE Network at 8 p.m. And then you got Johnny Gargano versus the Velveteen Dream, just really bringing you back down to earth and making you realize what real professional wrestling is. Johnny Gargano, going into this particular set of tapings, I was genuinely concerned with. I was concerned with Johnny Gargano because of the rumors coming out, or I guess the spoilers, I would say. They weren't rumors. From people that were physically there reporting on the tapings. How Johnny was getting shit on by the fans. How there were chants of Johnny failure ringing out through Full Sail University. This got me initially worried. I want to do a little comparison between now, where we sit in September, and back in January. I want you guys to think. Johnny Gargano, back in January, had everybody watching this product on his side. Everybody watching TakeOver Philadelphia against Andrade Cien Almas, which to me not only is the best match of the year, but the best match in NXT history. There was not one person walking away from that event that did not want Johnny Gargano to win the NXT Championship. I want you guys to look back on that moment and ask yourself, now, after everything that's gone on, is it still the right decision to not give Johnny Gargano the championship in Philadelphia? We wanted it. It could have happened. I still, to this day, think it needed to happen. Even watching that match back as many times as I did, I still get the feeling of, if you put the championship on him, it would not have been a mistake. But now we look at what's going on in the landscape of NXT. And when Johnny had that whole pizza pie to himself, that pizza pie now is being split into 4 slices. 4 slices on NXT television. It's not Johnny's world anymore. I still love Johnny Gargano. He's still my number one. There's a virtual fucking tie between him and Ciampa, but I still love Johnny Gargano. It's not Johnny's world anymore. Johnny Gargano is sharing the spotlight with several other guys who are just as equally as talented as he is, who are just as over as he is. These other guys are pulling the fans' heartstrings, just like Johnny was. And and 2 of them are heels. 2 of them are heels. It's not Johnny's fault that he's getting chants of Johnny failure. It's not Johnny's fault that there is indifference towards him now. Many of the fans that wanted to see him win the championship are putting their investment in other characters now. It's not Johnny's fault. It's very difficult to root against Velveteen Dream. It's very difficult to root against Tommaso Ciampa. Why? They're heels. Do you want to know why? Because nobody is doing better work right now than Tommaso Ciampa. So from a worker's standpoint, from a character standpoint, from a social media standpoint, how could you fucking boo this guy? He's creative. He's on top of everything. He's a fucking badass. How could you boo him? You can't. That's taking away from Johnny. Because of how good Tommaso Ciampa has been. Velveteen Dream's a heel. Yet we cheer him. Why? Because he's different. He isn't cut from a generic cloth in WWE. He's blazing his own trail. He looks different. His mannerisms are fucking fantastic. His character portrayal is on point. The way he speaks, people listen. He is over. Everything that Dream does, people are hanging onto it. That was Johnny. Johnny is now sharing the spotlight with two guys who are just as over as he is. And Dream is over. Dream is over. And he wants to be portrayed. He wants to be a heel. WWE has portrayed him as a heel before. But every single time, as soon as he steps in the ring, there's chants of Velveteen Dream. They are chanting his name. Because the fans love him. Johnny sharing the spotlight with those two guys. Aleister Black. You know, again, it's not Johnny's fault. Johnny is the reason why Aleister Black lost the championship. More people are going to side with Aleister Black. Not once, but twice. Johnny cost him the championship. Fans felt sorry for Aleister Black. Johnny wanted the title so bad that he fucked up, and the fans are now sympathetic towards Aleister Black instead of being completely sympathetic for Johnny Gargano, who can't get the job done. They're feeling sympathetic because Aleister Black, he lost the title, and it wasn't his fault. And then on top of that, you got Johnny Gargano in limbo. Did he attack Aleister Black? Did he not attack Aleister Black? He's still a culprit. Some people still out there claiming it was Johnny Gargano, that he's got all the motive in the world to do it. So not only do you have a sympathetic Aleister Black, now you have a sympathetic Aleister Black that was sneak attack and nobody knows who did it. And Johnny is still at the top of the list. I think it's time for Johnny Gargano to go away for a little bit. Because when you got chants of hey, 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 goodbye, and Johnny failure, it's not the same Johnny Gargano that we seen back in January. The Johnny failure chants I'm not too concerned with. That's just because it came from the Velveteen Dream and the people love Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream could be wearing anything on his fucking shirt and the crowd would have been chanting it. You know? They could have chanted anything on that night. They just wanted to feel a part of the match. So I'm not really looking too much into the Johnny failure t-shirts. It played a great role in the match. It played a pivotal role in the match. And it was a creative thing to do. It's just what Dream does. He gets underneath your skin. He gets in here, in your mind. But this is not Johnny's world anymore, folks. This is Johnny Gargano sharing the spotlight with three other guys, him being the fourth, and they are just as over, if not more so, than he is. So when Johnny was the only one challenging for the NXT Championship, now you got Tommaso Ciampa doing magnificent work. You got the Velveteen Dream, who will more than likely be named number one contender after this win over Gargano on NXT. And then you got Aleister Black, who never received a rematch for the NXT Championship. All of that, Johnny now is battling the biggest battle of his life. Not only is he battling demons, not only is he battling Tommaso Ciampa, but now he's battling for the love of the fans once again. There's a lot going against Johnny Gargano. It's going to be very interesting to find out if he can overcome all this and once again get back to being Johnny Wrestling. This main event was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic main event. We're going to go over that once we talk about it towards the end of this review, man. Unbelievable stuff. NXT is, it's a 1 hour show, and it really makes you think. It really, really makes you sit there and think what's going on. There's a lot going into this engine. And I love it. I love just fucking dissecting this. And it's all positive stuff. There's not one negative coming from this shit. You're on a ride and you're not complaining about where it's going, because any destination that they take you to is going to lead to more questions and more questions and more questions. I always like stuff like this. It's somewhat predictable in a way, some of it, but they keep you on your toes. And that's what I love about NXT. Moving on here, man. Let's talk about the show last night. Cassius Ohno started the show off against Kona Reeves. I don't know what it is with Kona Reeves. I just don't feel him yet. You know, and right now we're getting towards that time. Well, it's either sink or swim. Now, granted, he hasn't been put in any big match situation outside of EC3. This was probably his second biggest match on NXT TV, but this was a glorified squash match. The most important thing that happened in this match is what Cassius Ohno said after the match. Kona Reeves went for the Hawaiian drop and then got nailed with a rolling elbow and got knocked the fuck out. Cassius Ohno wins, and he goes on to get a victory for himself over Kona Reeves. All Kona Reeves to me right now is a flashy entrance. He's got the entrance down. He isn't even that bad in the ring. But the crowd doesn't give a shit. You need a reason for me to care about someone like Kona Reeves. I hope he gets there. I really do. Cassius Ohno wins with a rolling elbow. Post-match, Ohno says when he came to NXT, there was so much buzz around his return. Then it died. And then he became an afterthought. It initially bothered him, but then it didn't bother him. Now he gets it. There's always going to be someone new coming on into NXT, and there's always going to be someone new trying to steal your spotlight. Well, I am going to be your welcoming committee, he says. Anybody new that wants to step into my world, that wants to step into NXT, I will be here to welcome you with open arms. So Cassius Ohno is either talking about one of two individuals. One, he's either talking about Keith Lee. And please take my money. I'd love to see those two battle in an NXT ring. Or Cassius Ohno is talking about Matt Riddle, who we all seen sitting ringside at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn number 4. He could be talking about Matt Riddle. So we could be seeing Cassius Ohno versus either Keith Lee or Matt Riddle. And I think out of the two, we don't have a problem with either one of those two names. So I think I am okay with what's going on there. The only thing here, it didn't really... Cassius Ohno could still be in the running for attacking Aleister Black. But it looked like the vibe that he gave, he was more about himself. Maybe he took out Aleister Black for this very reason. We don't know. You know, Aleister Black at this point wouldn't have been new, but maybe he wanted the spotlight, and the best way to do that was to attack Aleister Black. I don't know. Could still be that case, but after this week, I'm feeling less likely that it's going to end up being Cassius Ohno as the attacker for Aleister Black. We'll see what happens. He's still at the top of my list, but as the weeks go on, I don't think Cassius Ohno is going to be the one named attacker here in this Aleister Black situation. The Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, with Jackson Riker, who is Gunner from Impact Wrestling, or Gunner formerly of Impact Wrestling, versus the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Stir it up. Stir it up. Still don't get it. Angelo Dawkins looks like a modern-day D'Lo Brown to me, if you ask me. I don't know. Montez Ford, man, clearly the star of this team. I mean, the reason why I like this team so much is because of Montez Ford. The guy is like a human fucking Super Bowl. Remember those Super Bowls you used to play with back at the fucking... in the schoolyard? He used to throw that shit against the wall and bounce all over the place, right? That's Montez Ford. The guy's like a fucking... The guy's like superhuman. The height that this guy gets. He did a tope con hero over the top rope. Fucking beautiful. Guy's picture perfect in everything he does when he takes to the air. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, man. Two guys who I want to see succeed. Very much so in NXT. Not because I like the makeup of the team, but because of how they are just beloved. They get a reaction from the NXT crowd that you really don't see a lot. And they got a lot of people behind them. I think WWE has a nice Cinderella team here in the Street Profits. It's just they got to be positioned, you know, when it's the right place and the right time. It's not the right place or the right time right now when you got Mustache Mountain and you got War Raiders and you got Undisputed Era. You got Lorcan and Birch coming back, I think, next week. A lot of competition in the NXT Tag Team division, man. Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler with Jackson Riker. Is it Riker or Ryder? I think it's Riker. Gunner from Impact Wrestling. Forgotten Sons. I was very, very intrigued about what the Forgotten Sons were about. I was hearing a lot of things from the house shows. I was hearing a lot of things from house show reports. How great they were, how great they looked. Now they're going to be coming to NXT TV soon. They were on NXT TV last week. I was excited about seeing. This was one of the more exciting parts of the show that I was anticipating. You guys remember Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy? When they were managed by Alexa Bliss in NXT, they were actually NXT Tag Team Champions. They lost the Tag Team Championships to the Vaudevillains. Many years ago. Seems like it was yesterday. But Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, man, they were a very generic tag team. They were really two guys that had nothing going for them outside of a pretty face. Alexa Bliss really made up that team. Her antics and her voice and her looks really made up that team. Once she wasn't with them anymore, downhill, right down the toilet. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not on this. I look at the Forgotten Sons and I get a Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy vibe. And coincidentally, Wesley Blake is in the Forgotten Sons. That's not a good thing. They look great. They are more than adequate in the ring. It's just I feel right now they are three guys who look the same, and they gave them this Sons of Anarchy gimmick because of the fact that they look the same, and they're just three guys who look the same thrown together. That's all I think of the Forgotten Sons right now. I hope that mindset changes, but right now I'm not seeing anything that makes me want to see them any more than I already do. And that's sad. I felt like this was a decent debut. They got a win over the Street Profits, but I don't feel like they are standout yet. Very early, but they have a Wesley Blake, Buddy Murphy vibe to them, meaning that there's nothing that makes them stand out. I need to know why they're here. I need to know why they are together. I need to know what their purpose is, what their goals are. So hopefully WWE gets their story across, and this was simply just a debut to see what they do in the ring, and that we get some video packages or some backstory on the Forgotten Sons. I hope so. I hope so. They did it with War Raiders. They did it with Street Profits. They did it with the Mighty. Let's do it for the Forgotten Sons because Steve Cutler's been in the Performance Center for a couple of years now. Wesley Blake has been there and is trying to resurrect his career now that Buddy Murphy's on 205 Live, tearing it up. Gunner was signed from Impact Wrestling. He has a new lease on life in WWE. I need a backstory on why these guys are together and what their priorities are here. But they're walking into a tag team division that is absolutely fucking stacked right now with competition. So they're going to need to do something to make these guys stand out because there are a long list of teams well ahead of them that I want to see more so than the Forgotten Sons. Now, I thought they were going to book themselves into a fucking corner here. The Forgotten Sons for the Street Profits. Can't have the Sons lose this match. It's their debut match on TV. Street Profits, they need a big win because they feel like an afterthought on NXT TV. They booked themselves out of a corner here. And with the Mighty interfering in this match, the Mighty came down and were wearing ski masks. They look like bank robbers. They came in and they wanted to steal Montez Ford's gold chains. That's exactly what they did. Montez Ford caught them. That caused for an interference. And then, actually, one of them was unmasked. I believe it was Shane Thorne. So everybody was like, oh my God, it's the Mighty trying to steal Montez Ford's gold. So Montez Ford got clotheslined by Gunner on the outside. I'm just going to call him Gunner. Gunner's a cooler name than Jackson Riker. Gunner clotheslined Montez Ford, turned him inside out, threw him right back in the ring. The Forgotten Sons, I don't know if they have a name for it, but it was like a DDT coup de grace combination off the top rope. And that was it. Forgotten Sons win, and it was due to outside interference. I'm glad it wasn't clean. I'm glad that there was some sort of interference because the Street Profits needed a win, but they kept both teams looking good. Sons got a win. Street Profits lose because of situations beyond their control with the Mighty. It's going to be interesting to see the tag team division develop over the remaining months of 2018. When I look at Otis Dojovic, I don't know if you guys see this, especially last night. It was the first thing that popped into my head, man. Especially when he was like shaking and shit. He was talking about his fucking bowel movements. I get a Tommy Boy, Chris Farley vibe from Otis. And that's a good thing because Tommy Boy is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. Every time it's on, I always watch it. Heavy Machinery is in William Regal's offices and he's asking them about the Aleister Black situation. Now, Otis is there and he's thinking that William Regal is about to call him out for breaking the toilet. Apparently, there's a broken toilet in the Performance Center. Otis is about to own up to breaking the toilet because of his constant visits. He loves his cold coffee in the morning or hot coffee, however Otis likes his coffee. Cool with me. I'm a big coffee guy. Says he drinks his coffee in the morning. It runs through his intestines. And there's a little rumble and grumble in his stomach. And he can't help but go to the bathroom. And he wants to admit to William Regal that he broke the bathroom at the Performance Center. Tucker Knight's like, Otis, listen. It's not about the broken toilet. They got us here because they got to ask us about the Aleister Black situation. So Tucker tells him that this meeting isn't about that. Regal asks, gets right down to business. They were filming, if you guys remember, in the initial footage where William Regal walked over to Aleister Black's unconscious body. Tucker Knight and Otis were there filming. So Regal asks about the Black situation. Tucker says that the only thing that they saw, that they did not film, that wasn't on the film that they provided Regal, was that the fact that Tommaso Ciampa was in the bushes, hiding, and then walking away from the scene of the crime. He was the only one in the vicinity that they seen with Aleister Black. And that was it. So you could scratch off Heavy Machinery as culprits here in the Aleister Black situation. But I really enjoyed that segment. A stunning confession here by Otis that he blew up the bathroom at the WWE PC. And he wants to be given a second chance. I love Heavy Machinery, man. They're so great. Ricochet and Pete Dunne. There was a segment backstage where Pete Dunne was arguing with Ricochet. Ricochet was arguing with Pete Dunne. It's your fault. It's your fault, back and forth. WWE's making this a match. WWE's making this a match. The North American champion, Ricochet, going up against Pete Dunne, the UK champion. Pete Dunne is bragging to Ricochet about how long he's held the UK championship. Pete Dunne has already had his eyes on the North American Championship. Ricochet says he's the one and only that could take that title from Pete Dunne, so why not do it? And I'm hearing already that this match is a fucking classic. 2 weeks. There's only one other thing that I enjoy outside of a tournament, man, a good tournament. It's a champion versus champion situation, especially a winner-take-all situation. This is a winner-take-all situation. Ricochet will be defending the North American Championship against Pete Dunne, who will be defending the UK Championship. Winner take all. Holy shit, I can't fucking wait. I'm hearing that these guys went 25 minutes on NXT TV. Can't wait to see it, man. Kairi Sane won the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver Brooklyn 4 against Shayna Baszler in one of the best women's matches of the year. Kairi Sane comes out on stage, and if you guys recall, she constantly said that she's going to find the treasure. The treasure meaning the NXT Women's Championship. So out comes Kairi Sane on the stage, and inside this treasure chest that was on the stage is not only gold coins, but the NXT Women's Championship. She took the championship, she took some gold coins, she was throwing them out to the crowd. She goes up against Trish Adora. I don't know why this was a match last night, but the one thing that I noticed watching NXT and the Mae Young Classic, Round 1, Episode 1, which you guys will see later today, was that WWE's really pushing the Dudley Boys Academy, the Dudley Academy, with Devon and Bubba Ray. She was a student. Trish Adora was a student of, or is a student of, Bubba and Devon. I didn't see anything that would warrant me wanting to see her again in this match. I don't even know why this match took place. Why are you putting Kairi Sane against nobody opponents? You know, this is supposed to be an enhancement match. Kairi Sane wasn't enhanced here. And this woman certainly wasn't enhanced by Kairi Sane. She didn't do anything. I didn't get to see anything that I would normally see from this woman. If you're going to put her against Kairi, if this is a student from the Dudleys that you want to showcase and you're putting her against your fucking champion, your women's champion, shouldn't there be something that makes her stand out? Nothing about this woman stood out. Don't even know why this match took place. Trish Adora. Last year, it was Booker T's Academy. And now this year, it's the Dudleys Academy. There were two women in the first episode of the Mae Young Classic that were trained by the Dudleys. I think so. I think it was that Lacey Lane. And there was, I think there was some. Oh, she was the second one. So on both shows, we've seen two Dudley students, Trisha Dora and Lacey Lane. But this was a waste of time. She did the intercept. Oh, no, actually, I don't think she did the intercept. She did that running elbow in the corner, and then she did the insane elbow off the top rope. This was a very easy victory. Very easy match for Kairi Sane. The most important part of this match was what happened after the match. Shayna Baszler comes out, and remember the treasure chest with the gold? Knocks the shit over. Fuck your gold. She's just a good bully. You know, the cosplay shit. Hey, fuck out of here with this pirate shit. Your treasure. I'm invoking my rematch clause, says Shayna Baszler. So, I've been wondering something, Kairi. Let's find out if this certain pirate can swim. She wanted to throw Kairi Sane overboard. She gets into the ring and they start throwing fists, man. These weren't any normal fists. These were some brutal fucking shots, man. Kairi was throwing it right back to Shayna. And I'm loving everything about this feud, man. Now, where she invokes the rematch clause, I don't know. It could happen at Evolution. More than likely, it will happen at Evolution because, you know, I think it's too long to stretch it out till Survivor Series weekend with NXT TakeOver LA, Los Angeles. And by all means, we got Evolution not looking really all that hot right now. So you got to add at least one match that I actually care about there. And I would not mind if they do that match at Evolution. Plus, we got the UK Championship, the UK Women's Championship match happening there, and then the Mae Young Classic final. So at least we have something to look forward to at Evolution. But I think this match is going to happen at Evolution. I think. They were throwing fists. Kairi Sane with a huge back fist. She does the interceptor spear and then knocks Baszler out of the ring. And she retreats up the ramp. Good stuff here, man. I love Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler looks like that type of woman that I want by my side when we go out for a drink. And if someone starts shit, she's going to fucking handle business, right? She just looks like a cool fucking person to go hang out with, man. You know? She's just awesome. She's come along, man. So far from the year of progression, I don't think anybody is even close to what we're seeing with Shayna Baszler, man. She is so great at what she does, and I can't wait to see more of her, and I can't wait to see the rematch here with Kairi Sane, because it looks like Kairi Sane has been brought out of her shell. You know, we're starting to see that intensity from Kairi Sane. Tommaso Ciampa, I'm loving these self-funded promos on his cell phone. Tommaso Ciampa is in a just bizarre or obscure region of the performance center. He's like in some fucking he's like in the bowels of the building somewhere, or he's in it looks like he was in a production truck or sitting near a production truck. Tommaso Ciampa says the reason why he hasn't been seen at Full Sail University is because he doesn't have a number one contender, with Black and Gargano now gone. Black literally gone, as he got surgery on his intestines, or his testicles, not intestines, his testicles. And Gargano is gone. I don't know why I said intestines. It's testicles. He got surgery on his balls, which doesn't sound like a good afternoon. Black and Gargano gone. He continues that he is the best sports entertainer of all time, but I think we do have a number one contender for Tommaso Ciampa now. He's the greatest sports entertainer of all time. Can't argue with him there. He films himself on his own because he has no desire to hear from any of the fans. I don't blame you. He is not the voice of the voiceless. Ciampa says that there is only a few out there, and I raise my hand. I'm definitely one of the few. That there are only a few out there that really hear him and understand him. He says, follow the lead of Ciampa. Bro, listen. I'm following and I hear you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. I ain't going anywhere. I'm completely on your path, on your side. Lead us. Lead us and make NXT the A show. But you're just making it the A plus show because it was already the A show before you became the champion. Lars Sullivan is in William Regal's office. Another interrogation here this week. Says that he's medically cleared to return to action. Regal says that Sullivan has a motive to attack Aleister Black and is the culprit in Aleister Black's attack. Now, a lot of people thought he was because he was wearing a bright yellow t-shirt. He looked like a fucking school bus. He's the size of a school bus. He was in the distance and people noticed it immediately. I'm glad it's not Lars Sullivan. A, it would have been too predictable. B, people figured that out very, very quick. I didn't even see Lars Sullivan initially in the fucking footage, but people noticed him there. They gave you a reason as to why he was there, And it was nothing but a troll in this entire situation. Yes, he did have a reason to attack Aleister Black. In fact, he told William Regal that before any of this happened, he was going to pay Aleister Black a visit and get some revenge on Aleister Black. And he kind of motioned with his jaw about what had happened. The jaw is an issue here. Aleister Black broke Lars Sullivan's jaw at TakeOver Chicago. Regal asked him why he was in the parking lot. Sullivan says that he was there for Black, but he was too late after hearing Black yell. By the time he got there, he saw the Undisputed Era's car leave and speed off, and Black was already knocked out. Now, this is the kicker here, and this is exactly what I expect from Lars Sullivan, and why I don't think Lars Sullivan attacked Aleister Black. Sullivan said that if he did it, he would be standing over Black's broken body. So he's the kind of guy that kind of relishes in his successes, per se. So that's what he told Regal. He would have been standing over Black's broken body. And then he says, just ask EC3, because he attacked EC3. So there you go. Regal then says, speaking of that, next week it will be Sullivan versus Raul Mendoza. Because Raul Mendoza had a match, and Lars Sullivan not only attacked EC3, but then went to the ring and decimated Raul Mendoza. So pretty much he's fucking over Raul Mendoza not once but twice here. But eventually Lars Sullivan is next in line for EC3. Side note, a lot of people are saying that it's EC3 attacking Aleister Black here. Now, I would not like that at all. If he is ending... if it's going to end up being EC3 here, and the ending sees EC3 turn heel, I might be a little bit more open to it. But as of right now, EC3 is very, very flat to me. He feels flat. He feels very generic. There really isn't anything that makes EC3 stand out. I think EC3 is, we talk about the NXT, wrong place at the wrong time situation. EC3 is suffering from that immensely right now. You got everybody just, pulling ahead of him here. And you got Gargano, you got Champ, you got Dream, you got, Matt Riddle coming in, Keith Lee's coming in. The line is growing. And EC3 really isn't doing anything to make himself stand out amongst all the talent coming into NXT. Ricochet, Adam Cole, the list goes on and on. So EC3 right now, if they're going to plan on turning him heel, that could be a very good way to do it. But again, I don't want it to be EC3. I want it to be more of a surprise. I really don't want it to be anybody on the roster that we expect, or a big name that we expect. I want it to be someone obscure. I want it to be somebody like, wow, that's a great story being told here. Someone that is going to benefit from this, Johnny Gargano versus the Velveteen Dream. This was easily one of the best matches of the year. One of the best matches of all NXT TV this year. Outside of Black versus Ciampa, this is probably my number 2. And this was a fantastic wrestling match, man. This is two guys here that work incredibly well together. And the story that was told here was absolutely fucking phenomenal. Johnny is battling demons. Johnny Gargano is battling his demons here. And Johnny, just picture Johnny going to AA. Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Gotta get off the bottle. He's a drug addict. He's an alcoholic. He's battling his demons. His demons are in the form of Tommaso Ciampa. So he's going in and out. We see glimpses of Johnny wrestling. We see glimpses of Johnny Psycho. Insane Johnny. Captain Insano. Velveteen Dream, I was worried about the Johnny failure chance, but like I told you, the Johnny failure chance were only exacerbated because of how over Dream is. I'm not worried about that. But I do feel that there is some indifference toward Johnny Gargano right now because of how over Dream is, because of how over Ciampa is, and because of the sympathy that is emanating from Aleister Black. By the end of this match, Johnny was Johnny. You got dueling Johnny wrestling and Velveteen Dream chants. Both guys are over. The fans want to cheer Velveteen Dream even though WWE is pushing him as a heel. Everybody loves Johnny Gargano. But there is some indifference right now towards Johnny Gargano. There is a certain reason why fans are kind of fed up with Johnny. Too many main events, getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And he fucked over Aleister Black and cost Aleister Black a title. And Aleister Black told him, I will take care of it. You do what you need to do. I got this. And Johnny poked his nose into Aleister's business and cost Aleister Black the title. Aleister Black didn't lose that title on his own. It was nothing that Aleister Black did. It was Johnny Gargano. So fans are going to feel more sympathetic for Black than they are Johnny Gargano right now. But the Johnny failure situation came into play here, and it was so great. It was so great. Now, let me go step by step here towards the end of the match. Both men are on the apron. Okay, Dream wanted to do the Dream Valley Driver on the apron. Super kick by Johnny Gargano sends Dream to the floor. Okay, Gargano follows up with a fucking Cannonball Senton. I'm going to stop right there. Cannonball Senton. The Cannonball Senton that was done to Dream barely even grazed him. And if Johnny Gargano is going to do Cannonball Sentons like that, every single time he's in the ring, we're going to have years cut off of Johnny Gargano's career. That was sickening. You know, that's all Matt. That cannot be good for Johnny Gargano. Okay? That hurt Johnny more than it did Dream. It looked good, but you can't be doing that move all that often, man. You gotta connect more body on body there. Back in the ring, Gargano gets a kick. He misses another, Insuguri. He rolls through an Insuguri. Famouser by Dream. Dream pulls out the Famouser. Cover, 2 count. Dream rolls through with multiple counters in a roll-up. Boot to the face. Gargano with a discus clothesline. Knocks Dream, turns him inside out. 2 count. This was a great back and forth. They were just literally flopping all over one another, trying to make, desperate pinfall attempts. Crowd's chanting, "This is awesome." Johnny wrestling. Velveteen Dream. Crowd is really getting into it. Both men on the apron again. Dream throws Johnny into the steps. Gets right back into the ring. Twisting DDT. Johnny kicks out. Moro's going fucking crazy. That could have ended it. And Johnny kicks out. Dream continues to work over Gargano's knee, because the knee was an issue. The knee was an issue coming out of Brooklyn. He hit that running knee on Ciampa and hit the road crates off to the side of the stage, and the story coming out of Brooklyn was that his knee was an issue. So Dream continues to work over the knee. Gargano on the apron, gets super kicked. Dream heads to the top rope now. So similar fashion. Gargano was underneath the rope, hanging off the apron. Dream goes up to the top rope for the Purple Rainmaker, misses. He misses it. Same spot on EC3 at Brooklyn, but this time he misses it on Gargano. Gargano moved out of the way, and then he hits a suicide dive on the outside. Or what Mauro Ranallo calls a tope suicida. He gets Gargano. Gargano gets the Gargano escape on the outside, and the referee is counting to 10. Referee wants him to break the hold, but he's counting to 10. We get to a 6 count. Gargano gets back in the ring. We're up to an 8 count. Dream is still on the outside. Dream gets back in the ring, and half of his body is outside the ring, but barely makes it back in the ring. So, we go from that to a draping DDT. He's envisioning Ciampa. So, he sees Ciampa in Dream. And he's doing the same things that he wanted to do to Ciampa to Dream. Draping DDT to the floor. He looks crazy. At this point, he realizes he's going too far. There's a kid sitting front row that has a Johnny Wrestling red t-shirt on and a Johnny Freaking Wrestling sign. Johnny goes over to him and puts his forehead on the kid's forehead, trying to bring him back down to earth. This is what it's about. It's about the fans. It's about the kids' faces. So he brings himself back down to earth. So he gets back into the ring. Referee told him, no, don't do the draping DDT on the outside. This is enough. Get back in the ring. Let's do this in the ring. I'm going to DQ you. Enough. So Dream is on Dream Street, literally. He's getting up, struggling to get up. Johnny Gargano's in the corner. Dream starts yelling out, "You're a failure. You're a failure." Playing possum. Johnny pulls down the knee pad. Starts saying, "No, I'm not a failure. I'm not a failure." So he's back to insane Johnny again. He runs towards Dream. Dream gets up quick, catches him in the Dream Valley Driver. Over. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Johnny Gargano loses because he beat himself again. He let the vision and the demons of Tommaso Ciampa get in here. And he fucked himself over against Velveteen Dream. He could have had this match won. In every instance, he had this match won. But he seen Ciampa in Dream. After the match was over, attention to detail, folks. What do I tell you? Attention to detail when it comes to NXT. There was a long camera shot. WWE, this is why I love NXT, man. There was a spot where Johnny was in the spotlight, standing on the outside of the ring, and there was a long camera shot just panning the entirety of the ramp, and you see Johnny just standing there defeated, man. That symbolism, that shot was fucking epic. What's next for Johnny? It's like he's on the long, lonely road all by himself. He exits stage right. He doesn't even walk up the ramp. He exits stage right. Chants of Johnny. And then some people audibly being heard chanting, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. He gave a nod to Morrow and walked away mumbling to himself as NXT went off the air. There's a great indifference towards Johnny Gargano right now. And I think Johnny Gargano needs to go away for a little bit. We do not need to see another Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano match. I do believe after this win, Velveteen Dream is the #1 contender, and rightfully so, for the NXT Championship. It is his time. Does he win? No. Tommaso Ciampa is not losing that championship at all. Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa is the next direction I think they go for the NXT Championship. What happens for Johnny? I don't have Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano in a ring one-on-one until WrestleMania weekend. TakeOver Brooklyn 5 to battle G1 Supercard. Triple H and Shawn Michaels are living vicariously through these two men. They are hands-on with creative for these two guys. They are booking this as if they were booking themselves. That's fact. And there's only 2 matches that are synonymous with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. It's either A, Hell in a Cell, or B, a 3 stages of Hell. And that's what you're going to book at TakeOver Brooklyn 5, WrestleMania weekend. That's when Johnny's going to win the championship. That's when Johnny hopefully is back to being Johnny Wrestling and puts those demons to rest. That's your NXT review, guys. Thank you so very much. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We just officially passed 97,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for everything. I will be back today with more coverage of the Mae Young Class. We're going to go over Round 1, Episode 1, a little bit later today. Thank you guys so much for everything. I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys later today with coverage of the Mae Young Classic. Talk to you later.